When you're ready.
How does identity impact fashion choice? My claim is that fashion can serve as a reflection of identity and also reinforces that identity. There are two main kinds of identity, cultural and individual identity. Cultural identity is more general and refers to an entire culture, including their traditions, history, and way of life. Individual identity is unique to each person and depicts their individual ways of life and self-perspective. While there are differences between the two, they are heavily linked as individuals are naturally involved in cultures. First, when looking at the cultural identity, traditions are a key aspect to how they view themselves. For instance, the Estonian Song and Dance Festival exists to celebrate their independence from Soviet control. In this festival, it can be clearly seen that they are wearing traditional clothes rather than modern ones. This reflects their cultural identity, since these clothes are important to the festival, while also reinforcing that identity, since they help express their independence along with the festival. While some traditions do reach across multiple cultures, they are always impacted in some way within any given culture. For example, in America, it is traditional for the bride to wear white at her wedding. The white is meant to symbolize peace and tranquility. This tradition changes in other cultures. According to TK Bridal, in Japan, they instead wear a white and red kimono, symbolizing happiness and new beginning. And in Spain, they wear black. They wear a black gown, symbolizing devotion to their partner until death. All of these are important traits to feature at such an event, and the changes show how important each culture views each trait. The fashion choices of each culture clearly can show which values they feel are most important, which reflects their cultural identity. In return, this reinforces the cultural identity because the chosen color serves to show how they will live their marriage and so their lives. While it can be clear to see a culture's influence on dress, it is also useful to see the impact of an individual's identity on dress. This can be seen in everyday life. Someone who does a sport would wear a jersey for it. Someone who is going to go to a college would wear a sweatshirt for it. These are all fairly benign examples. But a case where it is slightly less benign would be the case of fast fashion. When a person admires an influencer, they will be more likely to buy into whatever they do. This creates trends where several people will wear similar outfits. When it comes to fast fashion, according to the article, Ultra-Fast Fashion is Eating the World, Rachel Monroe states, trends used to take a year to pass to mainstream. Now, the fashion cycle takes just a few weeks. This creates a cycle where consumers buy unnecessary clothes because they are swayed by the influencer to make an initial purchase, and then buy more when they are caught on by fast fashion's hook. This can be harmful because not only are people spending a lot of money on unnecessary purchases, fast fashion is also damaging the environment with a lot of plastic waste. Implications of this idea that fast fashion reflects identity and reinforces it are that if there is a difference between their original identity and the identity of the clothes portray, the clothes can have a noticeable effect on the wearer. In a 2012 study by Adam and Galinsky, they found that a white lab coat associated with attentiveness and carefulness, when worn, increased selective attention compared to those not wearing the lab coat. In another context is the argument on uniforms in schools. Should students wear uniforms associated with academic performance, or should they be allowed to express themselves in dress? In conclusion, fashion and identity are intrinsically connected, each impacting the other in significant ways. Thank you.
A couple of questions. How did your research question evolve as you moved through the research process?
Okay, so at first I wanted to talk about choices, and then I wanted to get into social media's effect on that, but the sources I was finding weren't quite what I was looking for, so I decided to change my approach and look into fashion instead.
Okay, thank you. What are the implications of your findings to the community?
So my findings about how fashion and identity are connected can be brought to several scenarios. I mentioned uniforms in schools, and they can be used pretty much in everyday life. Because fashion is something that is useful to everyone.
Okay, thank you.